We are a charity based in Ancoats in Manchester. We currently have 8,500 registered clients, and our aim is to provide life support for the homeless and vulnerable. So our clients are generally encapsulated in that homeless and vulnerable category. We believe in every individual's potential, no matter what their current circumstance. So we have a huge range of people come to us. Sometimes they're homeless and living on the street, sometimes they're hungry, so our family who can't afford to buy their own food. Sometimes they're in the middle of addiction, so really stuck, addicted to a particular substance. Often, through all these, they're isolated, so living very lonely lives, disconnected from family, disconnected from their communities. We work with those who are offending and offended. We work with those who have lost hope for themselves and hope for their future at all. We work with those who are being abused and who have been abused in the past. And that's probably the highest bit about what we do. We meet a lot of very broken people, and we also work with the unemployed. And we believe, even though whatever they feel about themselves, we will continue and always believe that each of them has potential. We also are extremely strong in believing that everyone deserves a first, second, third and fourth chance. So a lot of people we meet have made mistakes or have been brought up in a way which causes them to make mistakes, and we believe that everyone deserves a second chance. Our aim, if I was to say what we're trying to do, is bring someone from a point where they're living a life that is self-destructive, that damages those around them, family, friends and community. We want to bring them from there through to a point where they're living sustainable, healthy lives that are good for themselves. But crucially, I think what we aim to do are bring people to a point where they're really being good and having a positive impact on the community and families that they're a part of. How do we do this? So we have obviously a lot of clients, and we use a lot of different strategies and projects depending where they are on the scale of need. Initially, it's about providing for the immediate physical needs, so food, clothing, furniture. Furniture is for people who are moving from homelessness into their first home. It just helps drop each barrier to moving on, we help drop that. And we're also very interested in providing long-term solutions, so not just meeting immediate needs, but actually how do we actually change their situation. And so we provide training that helps do that, so IT and English, furniture refurbishment, food safety, pack testing, the whole range of MVQs that help people actually grow in confidence and ability. We also use a lot of creative programs, so we're very interested in dealing with some of the internal issues, and we found that creative programs can help bring a lot of healing and moving on. Linked to that is counselling. So again, with people who you can probably track their situation now to their childhood, we find counselling very important, as well as motivational training for people who get stuck in a rut. Often it just needs someone to help them lift their eyes, lift up and move on, so we're very keen on using that as well. Freedom Project, which I'll talk about in a minute, which is what we're asking for funding for, is a big part of how we move people on. We also use a lot of social enterprise, so almost 50% of our income comes through social enterprise, and we also use that to provide employment for the people we work with. The Freedom Project, so this is what we're asking for funding for, and we're particularly asking specifically for an 18 to 25 version of this. It's a 4 days a week for 16-week programme. It basically establishes a routine and brings people into a community where they belong, which is really crucial for helping build motivation, helping build confidence. Every trainee is assigned a mentor. Now, on the whole, they're from local companies. So someone external who's giving them a bit of encouragement. 1 hour for every week for 16 weeks, they'll meet and encourage them along. We provide housing support. So a lot of people we work with don't have housing when they start, but as they go along, they grow in stability, and we help them move into their own home. We also embed workshops into that, so MVQs, anger management, conflict management, motivational training. So it's all embedded in, and team days out in the hills. Our aim is to get people into employment or into some activity that is contributing back to their community. For some people that's employment, and that's our ultimate aim, but for some people that might be years away. So as long as we try and get them to some sort of activity that gives back to their community. I was going to talk about the impact that we have, but I think probably the best way to talk about the impact is for you to listen to Graham, who came through the project 18 months ago. Graham, tell your story.
Firstly, I'm amazed and delighted to be here to represent the Mustard Tree. It's an organisation and a charity that I dearly love and I believe in. And it's a local charity. It doesn't get much more local. We're on Oldham Road, just across the other side of Piccadilly. Right, so I started 18 months ago at the Mustard Tree. I landed there, I was destroyed, I was desperate, I was suicidal, and within 18 months, through the art project and the support of the local business and partners, I've now developed myself into, so I'm delivering a service for people, for service users and for volunteers. I've just come back from a trip to Mexico, which was partially funded by the Mustard Tree and myself, dealing with people with in real poverty. I'm soon to be employed on a community interest company scheme that is going to be working out at the Mustard Tree. And, you know, so in 18 months, from being the lowest point of my life, I now feel as though I'm probably at the best point of my life. And to be quite honest, it's really all down to the work of the Mustard Tree and a little bit of work for myself. Thanks very much.